The history of magnetism. The history of magnetism begins with the discovery of magnetic stones or lodestones in ancient Greece as far back as 600 BCE. From 1845, lodestones were identified as a type of magnetite, a mostly black mineral made up of iron oxide, a mix of iron and oxygen. Magnetite develops naturally through volcanic activity and has its own magnetic properties. Many philosophers and scientists have studied magnets and their uses over the years. Still, it was not until the 20th century that they began to understand them, leading to the use of magnets in almost every technological device we see today. First discoveries. The first known mention of lodestone comes from an ancient Greek story of a shepherd boy named Magnes who lived in Magnesia around 600 BCE. While herding sheep on Mount Ida, Magnus noticed that the nails and buckle of his sandals and the tip of his staff were attracted to the rock he was standing on. He then dug up the earth to find lodestones. Around this same period, Greek philosopher Thales of Miletus also mentioned lodestones. It is believed that Thales wrote to Aristotle, another Greek philosopher, that the stones must have a soul because they could move iron. Other philosophers also had ideas about lodestone, but they were a mystery to most people in ancient times. Magnetized needle compass. A magnetic compass has a magnetized needle that rotates to line up with Earth's magnetic field. There is much debate about where the magnetized needle compass was invented, although most agree that it was likely to have originated in China. The Middle Ages saw the first reference to using the magnetic compass needle. Shen Kuo, an eminent scientist of the northern Song dynasty in China, wrote in 1088 that steel needles rubbed with lodestones became magnetized and could then be floated or suspended to form a compass. He was the first person to discover that the compass does not point directly north but to the magnetic North Pole. Shen's description of the magnetized needle compass and his understanding of how the Earth's magnetic poles affect the movement of the needle were huge steps in using compasses for navigation. The earliest European mention of magnetic compasses was by Alexander Neckham, an English scientist in 1180. The term lodestone comes from the Anglo-Saxon meaning the stone that leads. Icelandic writings of the time used the term leaderstein, that's lodestone, to reference the navigation of ships. Magnetism and electricity. Scientific investigations into magnetism were carried out in 1600 by English scientist William Gilbert, who did many experiments with his model of Earth called the Terrella-Gilbert. Magnetism and electricity. Scientific investigations into magnetism were carried out in 1600 by English scientist William Gilbert, who did many experiments with his model of Earth called the Terrella. Gilbert argued that the Earth's center was made of iron and was a magnet. He believed that this was what caused compasses to point north. The relationship between magnets and electricity began in 1820 with Hans Christian Ørsted, a physicist from Denmark who discovered that an electric current could influence a compass needle. This discovery inspired the development of the electromagnetic theory, the connection between electricity and magnetism. To honor his work in this field, the term Oersted is used as a unit to measure magnetic field strength. Magnetic research. Since the findings of Hans Christian Ørsted, there have been many studies into magnets and electromagnetism. Here are some researchers whose studies in this field have significantly improved our understanding of magnetism. André Marie, Ampere from France, and Michael Faraday from England investigated how magnetic and electric fields affect each other. James Clerk Maxwell from Scotland showed that electricity and magnetism are different aspects of the same force field, which provided the foundation of electromagnetism. Pierre Curie from France investigated the effect of temperature on magnetic materials and found that certain temperatures in some magnetic materials, like iron, can suddenly remove the magnetism of that item. Ernst Ising and Werner Heisenberg from Germany provided the understanding of magnetism that we have today, based on the movement of electrons in atoms. There are many scientists, mathematicians, philosophers, and theologians who have contributed to our understanding and use of magnets. This research continues now and into the future. A few questions of history of magnetism now that we know the history. Where were the lodestones first discovered? You will tick any one or write down any one option. Draw 5 lines and match each person to their discovery. Or you could write 1, 2, 3, 4 and ABCD and make a key down. Okay, be creative as much as you could or you would like to be. Who believed that lodestones must have a soul? Find one word that means the opposite of repelled. Whose name is used as a measurement of magnetic field strength. Summarize what you have learned about the history of magnetism using 30 words or fewer. Why do you think lodestones were an unexplained mystery to many people in ancient times? How do you think people realized that rubbing a needle on a lodestone made the needle magnetic? Predict what type of technology you think might come out in the future using magnetism or electromagnetism to work. Explain how a magnetic compass works. Hope you liked the history of magnetism. Stay tuned for more interesting knowledge and information about our past, future, and present. Till then, take care, keep liking, keep subscribing. See you another time.